So I wanted to start macroeconomics revision by going through a big topic in year 12, which is trade-offs between the different objectives. While some of these will be straightforward, some of the evaluations are quite tricky, but also it's just a really good revision of year 12 macroeconomics. So let's start with the first one. Evaluate the trade-off between economic growth and inflation. So if you've done your revision, the argument should be pretty straightforward. Whenever there's an increase in economic growth, there should be an increase in real GDP, which is the value of goods and services produced in the economy adjusted for inflation. An increase in real GDP means that output and therefore incomes are going to increase. And as disposable incomes are a factor that affects consumer spending, which is a component of aggregate demand will increase. We can even use a positive multiplier effect here to go into further detail, but for now, let's say that an increase in aggregate demand will always cause demand pull inflation. But here's a tricky bit. Let's evaluate it. So there's 2 points we can make here. Often we might want to save supply side policies as a separate paragraph, but that's one argument. Supply side policies can be used to increase economic growth whilst actually allowing disinflation to be experienced. But the big one is I want you guys to understand the difference between a positive and a negative output gap. So just here, we've got an economic cycle and we've got 2 lines. So what does each line actually mean? The blue one is the actual rate of economic growth. The black straight line is the trend rate of economic growth. Now, actual growth means the changes in real GDP. The trend rate of growth is the amount of growth the economy can experience sustainably. In other words, the trend rate of growth is the amount of growth the economy can experience without demand pull inflationary pressure. So, as actual growth is faster than the trend rate of growth, the economy will experience inflation because people are buying too many goods and services when firms are still producing the same amount. Okay? So people are demanding too many goods and services whilst firms are still only able to produce the same amount. They have a capacity. So that's where supply side policies come in, by the way. They're able to increase the trend rate of growth to reduce the chance of positive output gaps, as you can see over here. If supply side policies were set up a few years back, this rate of economic growth would actually have been sustainable and there wouldn't be a positive output gap. The economy can actually begin to grow faster without inflation. Okay, back to the state of the economy. So as you can see here, we are now in a negative output gap at 81, Y1, price level 1. So I would say, however, the economy can grow without causing a big increase in demand pull inflation, especially if the economy is experiencing a negative output gap. You could also say it depends on the state of the economy. I think that's a huge evaluation. So, a negative output gap occurs when the actual rate of economic growth is slower than the trend rate of economic growth. This means there's a faster rate of economic growth that is sustainable in the economy and doesn't cause inflation. As we can see, the economy experiences an increase in AD from 81 to 82, leading to a huge increase in growth from Y1 to Y2 without much inflation, only from PL1 to PL2.